Previously on the Married to Millennials podcast. Do you want more kids?
It's a loaded question.
Well, I have a fear of being outnumbered.
And that's what you said back then, too.
Yes.
Yeah. So we ended up being pregnant almost a year after we got married. But it just didn't turn out the way that we planned. So between 2015 and 2018, we had a total of 5 miscarriages.
It was so confusing. It was like, how do I help? How do I make my wife feel better? How do I express my emotions, express my feelings, but not put extra stress on her at the same time?
You okay?
Yeah, like you said, we just didn't, tell anybody because we weren't ready. But I know one thing that we both said to each other, and it was kind of like our way of kind of getting through it, was we just decided with each other that we were choosing joy over pain.
Yeah.
And I think that really did help us focus on Caden. And at the same time, we say these things out loud that we were focusing on Caden, but there was a little bit of guilt as well too. It was like, how do I just abandon our other son like that? But I think God helped us kind of realize, like, yeah, this is your situation, but it's not your conclusion. You know what I mean? It's not. You're still bringing home something that you wanted. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think once we got over that small bit of guilt, we were able to kind of really enjoy us having Caden.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, keeping it to ourselves gave us some peace just because, like you said, we didn't want people asking us all questions. I didn't want people being like, "Are you okay? Are you
Yeah,
okay?" Because that would have frustrated me.
yeah,
That would have got to me where I would have been stressed out because now you're smothering me. So I think it was just kind of surprising to people once we announced that we were in the hospital, had
hmm,
babies, that one would not be going home with us.
yeah,
And we received a lot of outpouring of love and, just people thinking about us, thoughts and, prayers and all of that. But I think that's what helped us get through that the most
for sure.
was just like focusing on what we wanted to do together and how we
Hmm.
were going to get through it together without needing all that outside opinion.
Right.
So it took us on that long journey
Hmm.
to answer your
You're right,
question.
right, right.
But like, again, I think God gave us a kid when we were ready.
Hmm.
I still don't. I feel like God was like, "Yeah, this ain't the time for you to have twins." You know what I
Right. No,
mean?
I
Like this
get
is not
that.
the time for
Yeah.
you to have 2 children.
Right.
Your husband's still in chiropractic school
Hmm.
and all of this, but you have one that's depending on you.
Yes.
And truthfully, if we would have had both of them, I don't know if Callie would be here.
I don't either.
And it's not that I was like, okay, yeah, this was traumatic and I'm
Yeah.
one and done. No, it was just that Caden by himself
I can't
was
imagine.
very,
Right.
very um active. That's the best
Yes.
way to put it.
Yes.
Very, very active, always climbing,
Hmm.
always doing something. And
Yes.
like we were in that transitional period where you were just graduating chiropractic school, so you were getting a job.
Hmm.
I had moved into a different role at my job at the time.
Hmm.
And so like it was a lot going on.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah, and then we were stuck in the house
Right.
with a newborn, which
Right.
was a blessing in
Yes.
disguise, but it was also very difficult.
Right.
So, but having them, at the time that Calais was born, Kaden had just turned 2 a few months before that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she would have been here at that
I don't
time.
even think she would have been a thought.
Yeah,
Would have just
we would
been
have
trying
been
to
so busy.
survive. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I am thankful that, we have her and she is definitely my mini me.
Yes, she is.
But looking forward,
Hmm.
to answer your question, do I want more kids?
Hmm.
I have a two piece to that.
Okay.
My heart says yes.
Uh-huh.
My heart says yes. I want more kids. I would
Yeah.
love a big family
Yeah.
that, I would love to see us grow.
Yeah.
But then my head says, I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
Like, I don't know because number one, I mean, now, thankfully, we have somewhat of a understanding about my body and like
Yeah.
how that how that go what I need, at
Exactly.
least to be feeling good about being pregnant
Mm-hmm.
again. But also on the other side of it with this political climate,
Right.
it worries me
Of course.
because what if something happens and I end up having a miscarriage and need surgery or whatever that looks like?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for me and my life?
Right.
Because
Exactly.
now it's not only just my life, but it's a life that is important to little ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
So I have to think about all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, selfishly,
Mm-hmm.
selfishly,
Which
right?
is okay for you to be selfish.
I know, but it's the tug of war that goes on in my brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I would love to have more children, like four, four total
Yeah.
would be okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like the financial piece,
You took the words out of my mouth.
selfishly, financially, because we are getting to the space where Caden is about to go into public school.
Yeah.
So we will no longer have that daycare bill for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Caloré will be a couple years after that.
Mm-hmm.
If we add another one to the bunch, we starting back over.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
financially,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, we that would be nice,
Yeah.
to have that back in the home." And then also selfishly, we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard getting someone to keep your children. Like
Yes.
if we want to go on a friends trip or just a trip by ourselves
Right.
to have someone keep the children, it's very, very difficult. I
Right.
mean, our parents and my aunt will keep the children overnight, but it takes a lot of planning,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of coaxing, a lot
Yeah.
of like,
Uh-huh.
come on, answer me now.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Like, Shanika, I don't want to hear. I'll let you know.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right. Uh-huh.
It has to be like
Or no answer at all from
I wasn't going there. I was just speaking on
all right.
Shanika.
Okay.
But like it's hard,
Yeah.
right? Like when you're trying to plan to go out of town and stuff like that, you got to make sure those little ones are safe
Yeah.
and that they're taken care of and that you have a plan,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So then in my head, I'm like, well, if it's hard for two, it definitely be hard for three or four,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
right? Because you
Yeah.
talked about being outnumbered.
Yeah.
People keeping them gonna
People
definitely be
definitely be
outnumbered.
outnumbered. Exactly.
So it's just one of those things. Like, do we now say that's enough? We good because
Yeah.
we're trying to be slightly selfish on like when we can do things or go places or financially. It's so many different aspects to
Yeah.
it.
And it's so crazy with us because our answer changes every day.
Yeah.
It's situational. It I always tell people it depends on the day and depends on how much they ran my nerves.
I just got to the point where I'm just like, we'll see.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do not know. And then on top of that, now we have the two little ones who are semi independent. Like,
Independently dependent.
yeah,
Yeah.
they want to do things by themselves, but like they talk,
Yeah.
so we don't have to guess what's
Yeah.
wrong unless they want to play these games. But
Yeah.
like
Right.
they talk, so we understand them.
Mm-hmm.
They both are potty trained,
Yes.
so we don't have to buy diapers and wipes and
Mm-hmm.
carry diaper bags because that's a whole nother mental load.
Yes.
And so starting over would
Right.
be adding that.
Yes. Exactly. I am right there with you. I have a two-part answer as well too.
Yeah,
I'll start with the financial piece. And I hope y'all don't think I'm all about money, but I am a little cheap. But I always think about the financial part because I want to make sure that I can provide for my family. That's just number
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm able to do that. And like you said, those daycare prices, they they add up for one. It keeps
Mhm.
adding, it keeps adding, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll add one more. So then we're back to two in daycare again. I think about that financial piece, right? The other part of it, for me, I feel like I have so much more love to give. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
And when I say that I have so much more love to give, I have so much more love to give to children
Yeah.
and shaping our
Better be
children.
children.
What you mean?
You better
Oh
be talking
yes,
about
yes,
children.
yes. Of course. No, I'm talking cowgirl. I got plenty of love to give to you. I hope you no, no.
No,
Oh,
no,
I know
no,
what you
no, no.
meant, but no, absolutely not. I have more love to give to children, and I enjoy being a dad. I
Mhm.
enjoy teaching lessons that I never learned. I enjoy, helping shape a little one and hopefully make sure that they're a cool adult and not a weird adult.
Oh
I
boy.
feel like us together, we can save the world by having some cool kids. And I just enjoy the process. Like I enjoy parenthood. And I'm like, yeah, more in the house would be great. But I hate to say it like this, but at what cost? One thing, not even necessarily financially, but what costs, I always think about this, what costs to our marriage. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I know we're very vocal and we communicate very well when it comes to our needs to each other. But I feel like I don't want all of that to be thrown out the window because we're over our head with another.
Mhm.
But I feel like the conversation, of course, needs to be had between us to go like we do with Caden and Calray. Like, hey, if you're overstimulated, I want you to verbalize it. I want you to tell me. If you're feeling overwhelmed, tell me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we've done this thing with you before, which I don't even know if you really liked it, but just go get a hotel room and just breathe for a little bit.
Yeah.
You were good for probably about the first 5 to 10 minutes, but then you was like, I miss y'all. But like, I want to
We
make
sat and
sure.
watched Netflix, but it was
Yeah,
just kind of weird because it was quiet.
he was like, "What's going on?" He was paranoid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really cherish our marriage, and I also want to make sure that that's solid as well too.
Yeah.
You know.
And honestly, if I'm thinking about it, like at the age that I am now, not
Hmm.
that I'm old because I ain't,
I ain't old either.
but I don't want. There's this like line where you're like, okay, if I have a baby now,
Hmm.
how old am I going to be when they graduate
start
high
doing
school?
start
Right? You
doing the
got to do the
math.
math.
Uh huh.
So I think if we did,
Hmm.
I have one more in me,
Yeah,
right? Because
I get it.
thinking about timing between two and all
Hmm.
that stuff, like I prefer not to be, not that people can't. I prefer not to be pregnant at 40,
Yeah, I get it.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm 33 now.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm not pregnant at this moment.
Right.
Say obviously, like, let people know that, but I am not, right?
Right. It's not the reason we having this episode, people.
So, like, if we did become pregnant, you're talking about me being 34, 35 by the time I have a kid.
Right.
And that's like, come on, let's do this.
Hmm.
Right? So there's no more.
Yeah.
That in me, I don't think. I
Yeah.
mean, God has his own plans, but if you're
Hmm.
asking me specifically, I think I although I always said like I would have love to have a lot of kids, I think at the timing only one more is in me.
Yeah. No, I get that. And you talked about math as well too, about how old you would be. I got some math on how old the kids are gonna be.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
reason why is because I'm thinking about, age gap.
Yeah.
I love the age gap that Caden and Calray have.
Yeah. Less than 2.5 years apart.
Right, exactly. This third one,
Calories already 3.
right, exactly. So that's four, like you were talking about with you and your
Mhm.
sister. That's another gap. And here's the thing. Me, I do a lot of research. I like look at blogs and stuff like that. And two things. there wasn't many positive things about having a third. So that's already like you're already thinking like, well, is it that scary? But then the second thing they talk about the math of it, like, we have a boy and a girl.
Mm.
Whatever we have, one of them is gonna be outnumbered, and they're gonna sometimes they may feel left out. And also the age gap as well too. I think about all those different things. I always think about my kids' emotions and their feelings as
Yeah.
well too. Like, and the math just didn't go. It's not gonna math, especially when it comes to arguments like they do now. Like, oh, I want to watch TV. I was like, okay, well, you watch this now. You watch this. We don't got enough time. You watch this. You watch this, and you watch that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think about all those different
I
factors
mean,
as
they
well.
also could be where they like some of the same things, and that's
That's true.
okay. Because I mean, Calorie likes a lot of things Kaden watches.
That's true. That's very true.
So I mean, I don't know
Hmm.
if that necessarily is something that would cause me to say
Like a no
we
deal.
don't have enough time.
Right.
You can make time. I always
That's true.
said you make time for what's important to you.
That's
So
facts.
the time piece is not really an issue for me. It's just more of like, do we have the financial means?
Yeah.
Do I feel safe in my medical
Hmm.
pieces, like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
medically? And then, like, how does that affect our lifestyle
Hmm.
as far as, because it's not only just us. Now, I'm not saying like just us going out of town is what is like the end all be all.
Right.
I'm saying we also think about how we want to provide experiences for Caden and Callie.
Hmm.
So if we have a baby now, instead of going to Disney and us being able to be on rides with them, I'm pushing a stroller. Somebody's got to stay off the ride.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or something like that. So it's just a mental tug of war
Hmm.
that goes through my
Right.
head all the time. And so that's why when people ask me, I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm not shutting it down because again, I like being pregnant.
Yeah, I got you.
People laugh at me because I tell them all the time I like being pregnant. And the reason I like being pregnant is because when you wear dresses, you can wear whatever dress you want. And nobody's thinking nothing about your stomach because you know what? You're pregnant. It's a baby in there. Everything
Right.
looks cute.
Oh my God. You got a point though.
But it does. Everything looks cute.
Uh-huh.
You can't do that if you're
Right.
pregnant.
Right.
I and honestly, although I feel like our roller coaster was kind of traumatic,
Hmm.
my pregnancies were not so much,
Right. I get that.
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't until the end of the twins that I had that issue and that unfortunate matter, right?
Hmm.
But Callie, she was pretty simple.
Hmm.
Like I didn't have any, I don't remember any complications or issues or, I mean, my kids clearly don't want to come out the natural way.
Right.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so I had C-sections, but other than that, like I think I was so far in the clouds about just being a mom that I was just
Hmm.
happy the whole time.
Yeah. And I feel like that pregnancy went by fast.
It did. But like I'm talking about both pregnancies.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, like people used to be like, "Oh, you just look good. You don't look like
Uh-huh.
you tired." And I'm like, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
But I think I was also living in that like I'm excited, I'm happy, like that
Yeah.
blissfulness.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any like actual problems
Hmm.
or feelings of like I can't wait to have this baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, get
Because
this
a
baby
lot of
out of
people
me.
do, but
Yeah.
I didn't have that issue.
Yeah. And, for me, during both pregnancies, of course, the men, we ain't got nothing going on. We reaping all the benefits. You liking cravings, I'm eating tough with you. So, that to me, that was fun. You know what I'm saying? And I think the excitement of like having a kid, well, more the excitement of the pregnancy part of it, like you get to tell people, oh, we're expecting, you're
Yeah,
smiling from ear to ear and
yeah,
everything. Like that part was very joyous. I love that part of it. It's kind of like you get to brag because you get married, especially if it's something that you wanted, you get to brag like, yeah, yeah, we pregnant, got
yeah,
another
yeah.
little one coming up. So you're excited about it. So that feeling, of course, is great. But then logic kicks in,
Hmm.
So it's just it's tough.
Yeah, my logical brain is
Yeah.
like, which makes more sense?
Uh-huh. Got you.
The kids have their own room. Are they gonna fight about having to share with somebody?
Right. Right. You definitely think a lot of what ifs.
It's a lot, but
Yeah. So, $1 million question. It's just yes or no. Do you want more kids?
you're making me choose yes or no.
Um.
Do I
Okay.
want more
Okay. How
kids?
about this? It's open ended. You don't have to. It's not multiple choice. It's not true, false. None of that. Open ended. Give me your thoughts after saying all that.
After all that, I still don't know. Like, no,
No, for
seriously
sure.
though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you were, if I were to find out next month that we were having a baby, I
Mm-hmm.
would be excited. I,
Right.
I would be happy. I would not have, qualms about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
God said so,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also to the point where if we don't, I'm also okay,
Yeah. No, I get that.
right? Like,
Right.
I am content
Mm-hmm.
not having another,
Mm-hmm.
but if we do, then that's a blessing too.
Yeah.
So I'm in that space where I'm okay.
Right.
I think if we only had Caden, the first baby,
Mm-hmm.
and you would ask me that, I'd be like, no, I want another one.
Yeah.
Like I just having one and done wasn't never in the cards for me, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Right. Same.
Um,
Same.
I wanted kids to have siblings.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm okay one way or
Mm-hmm.
the other.
Right. Yeah. I get that.
But I mean, if we're gonna do it,
You like.
you got about 2 good years. You got about 2 good years. Because once I hit that 35, 36 mark,
Mm-hmm.
I want to travel,
Yes.
by the time when I turn 40.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be carrying around a stroller.
I understand. I get
So what about you?
it.
Oh no, you asked me, so you gotta answer too.
Oh man, the seat getting hot. Hmm. Do I want more kids? Let me give you this answer.
Be honest though, because I feel like you always bank off of me.
Uh-huh. No, this is completely honest. It's above me now.
So
If
please.
God, if God says Tuck and Mishi, I'm gonna bless you with another child. I ain't gonna be mad.
But what does your heart say? Not
Uh,
your mind, your heart.
we're talking heart, then yes. I want more kids. Oh, but
Kids.
okay, let me back up. I want more kid. I
You
don't
would
know.
like one more kid.
I would like one more, and the reason being is because I feel like from what I thought I wanted from the get go with two, and what you wanted, you know, as well,
We would
we
hit
would
for.
hit for exactly.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I say yes, but like you said, time's a ticking, and I want is. I'm sorry to keep going by this, but I want as little time with both of them in daycare as possible. Give me 6 months, you know. So, but no, I would like to have another one. Like I said, it's above me now. So whatever the big man upstairs say.
Oh boy.
All
Oh boy. Mm.
right.
Okay, so
Uh huh.
if we had another one,
Yeah.
would you want a boy or a girl?
Oh, you know what? I had that same question for you, and you beat me
I
to it.
beat you to it. Go.
I would. I would probably say, oh, you don't make me choose.
Yep, you gotta choose
All
one.
right. Hear me out. I'm gonna say boy
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like if I, if there was three
Mm-hmm.
women in this house, oh we three sassy, tell it how it is. Who gonna check me, boo?
Oh my
In this
goodness.
house, me and Kaden, we'll be going on a lot of trips. We'll be escaping a lot. And another thing, the only reason I say probably another boy as well too, because I see how wrapped Tyler Ray has me. If there were two that had me wrapped, they would fight. They would
Mm,
be fighting for who got daddy wrapped more.
yeah.
and that'll be stressful for you, right? I'm pleading my case here. That'd be more
Why would that
stressful
be
for
stressful
you,
for
right?
me?
Because you had to break up a lot of fights.
No, you would have to break up the fight.
Yeah, I would, wouldn't I? But no, on a serious note, honestly, either way, I look at it both ways. I'm like, if we had another girl, Caden, the way Caden is and how he protects his sister, I would feel very confident for him to be very protective of his two sisters. Now, if there was a boy, I look at it on Callie Ray's part because I saw her face when we were in Charleston, her being the only girl. Like she
Yeah.
looked devastated. Like all these
The
boys,
family
what
cousins.
in the world? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think about it both ways. I'm thinking about their emotions that way. But like I said, if they ever say anything,
Well,
look,
maybe we can convince some of our friends.
yes,
They know who I'm talking
uh
to.
huh,
Some of our friends
uh
to
huh,
have a girl.
uh huh.
I mean, not that they can just pick it. I mean, I guess you can pick and choose
You
now these
can
days,
nowadays,
but
but
not that they would.
yeah,
But like if they had a girl, that would solve our
it
problem.
would, it would, it would solve
I
everything.
was actually going to say a boy too.
Okay.
And that's honestly to help you out. Because you know what? Michi can't do hair. Callie Ray, I fight for my life. Every time
Uh
I
huh.
wash her hair, try to
Yeah.
comb her hair, brush her hair, plait her hair, that's all I can do. And you are even fighting me to do a ponytail.
Right. She just cried for a ponytail.
She's so tender-headed, and
Uh
that was
huh.
never me. That was my sister. She got that from my sister.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
I
And
got
so
you.
if I had another girl, I don't know, I would be too stressed out, I think. And then
Mhm.
your pockets will be broke because as soon as Calore's ready to go get her hair braided,
Uh huh.
she's going. I
Right
mean,
with
she
you.
gets braided by her grandma.
Yeah.
But I mean like
Like the Africans.
older.
Oh yeah.
Why I gotta be
It's
African?
just for you.
Not
You don't. Not anymore. My bad. You right. I'm still thinking you should still be going to Spartanburg. My bad. Hey, but they break good though. I thought that's what you were talking
they
about. My
do, but
bad.
like
Come on now. The shops be called African braid now. Don't be
okay,
doing
but that's
that.
not where I go now.
Alright. My bad.
But uh, I mean, you would be having to pay out that, you know. And Callie, she's eventually gonna get to the point where she wants to go to the nail salon and
Mhm.
all this stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah. So what you telling me is it don't matter because my pocket's gonna get hit differently anyway.
yeah, one way or the other.
Yeah.
I
Which
mean,
I'm all right with. You know.
boys, I just send them with you to the barbershop.
So easy.
Yeah. So I would say a boy, but I
Okay.
mean, I would be thankful for anything that God gives us.
Yeah. There's some fire names thought of too, so it don't even matter if it was boy or girl. We good.
Yeah, I don't remember the girl name
You
though.
don't? I do.
We'll have to talk about that. I mean, I believe we got some time
Yeah, we
to
do.
figure it out.
We do. Once again, this episode was not an announcement.
Oh no. Not at all.
There'd be a little bit more stress in this episode.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah, well, we shall see.
We shall see. Like I said, it's above me now. All right, y'all. Talk to you later.
Hey y'all, did you enjoy the episode today? If so, don't forget to comment your favorite moments and share with your family and friends. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to our Married to Millennials podcast YouTube channel and follow us on every major platform for podcasts. And don't forget, we're also on Instagram and TikTok at M2M Podcast. See you later.